As Guyana sits on the economic and political crossroads, we speak to the nation's opinion leaders and decision makers to get their views on the challenges the country faces and the path it must take to achieve national development. Welcome to Nation Watch. Now here is your host Mervyn Williams, former member of the Guyana Parliament.
So today's edition of Nation Watch, today is Sunday, 3rd March 2024. We inch closer to that anticipated day when we will get our opportunity to go to the polls and replace what now passes for a government. My name is Mervyn Williams. I'm your host for Nation Watch, which is a People's National Congress reform production. We're on watch for the nation. Today, we'll be discussing Guyana's investment climate, and joining me is a gentleman who is no stranger to the viewing, reading, and listening public in Guyana, Mr. GHK Lall. Mr. Lall, I'd like to welcome you to Nation Watch once again, and we need to do this a lot more often, with your permission, of course.
Well, thank you, Mr. Williams, for considering me to have something to share with our fellow Guyanese and whoever else wants to listen on this topic or any other topic. It's my privilege to be here.
Right. So, Mr. Lall, you yourself have spent more than 2 decades, or at least 2 decades, in the investment business. So this is not a conversation which would startle you in any way. You're very comfortable in this area. For the benefit of our viewers, could you outline in very simple terms the elements which need to be present in any country for it to be considered by investors, whether local or foreign, to be a good, safe investment opportunity? Considering, of course, that Guyana is the fastest growing economy this side of the world, the richest country per capita, and all these glowing and glorious terms that are being used to sell Guyana across the world, sometimes, well, more often than not, without regard for the realities of our country. But we'll get to that eventually. Just lay out for our viewers, please, in very simple terms, what are the prerequisites for a country to be considered a safe, comfortable investment opportunity?
Again, thank you, Mr. Williams, and good day, everyone. Glad to be here sharing with you. Investment climate. I think the first thing that we have to do is to identify what investment climate is, and we're going to make this simple. Investment. It's some asset, some holdings, some money that we have in our possession and under our control that we are thinking of, we are contemplating putting it into in a country other than our own. And the climate, so it could be a basic shop, it could be a huge plant, it could be millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of American dollars. Euros, but it means that we have to consider what is the climate that we are going to put our shareholders' money in, or our own money in. That climate is like it's a weather pattern. It's a long term. You're thinking long term. It's not a gamble. It's an investment. It's that this place called Guyana has what it takes. It is solid, it is secure, and it is hospitable. It is hospitable to what we have in mind. There's a mutuality there. There are some reciprocal benefits that can occur. Some of the vital elements of a welcoming, of a heartening investment climate: sovereign risk, political risk, liquidity risk, legal risk. So let me go through them quickly and very simply, one by one. Liquidity risk. If I need to withdraw my money to close down my investment, I'm able to do so with as little inhibitions as possible and repatriate my investment out of the country, in this instance, Guyana. Political risk, political stability. Political stability is of vital importance to foreign investors because when there is that, then there's the strong sense that we are in safe hands here. We are comfortable with how things are. Legal risk, that the laws will not be changed, the laws will be interpreted as we interpret them, and that they are favorable to our visions. Our vision is to make money. Our vision, first and foremost, second and always, is to make money. Yes, we're going to provide jobs and we are going to engage in social services and so on and so forth. But those are secondary byproducts. My perspective as an investor, whether it's $1 million or 100 or $1 billion, is to make money for my shareholders, for my workers, for myself. That's there. And so all those elements, political risk, sovereign risk. Sovereign risk is how stable, how viable is this country that it is welcoming to investors, and the people in charge know what they're doing. The people in charge and the structure behind them are what gives me confidence as an investor. So those are some of the key components there that goes into the head of an investor when they are thinking of Guyana.
All right, I want to look at a few issues here. There's a document, Mr. Lall, that was recently published. It's called a safety index. Safety index. It was published by the UK news website of the year, the Telegraph. And it says here, I'm sorry, I'd like to get this up there. Bear with me for a minute while I try to get it up there with the help of my operator. This document says, and I hope you can get it up there for us, that Guyana is rated on this safety index at number 18, where it's ranked together with Belize with 43 out of 100 points. On top of this list as the safest area is Aruba, followed by the British Virgin Islands, Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, Curacao, and so on. But all the way down at the bottom there, with Belize and Haiti, is the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. I raised that with you, sir, because there are glowing stories about our country internationally, but the real stories are often not told. Not so long ago, I think there was a particular embassy in Guyana that issued a travel advisory, which put persons on notice with identifying some risks locally. There is an ongoing teachers' strike action, which, it pains the average citizen to see the manner in which the executive is responding to and treating with the issue of industrial action by our teachers. The local stock exchange says that there's a consistent decline in investment in Guyana. Of the 4 risk areas that you identified, against the background of these few points that I just raised, how would you rate Guyana in terms of a viable investment opportunity?
Well, I can look at that from two perspectives. One, all the good news, all the bright, gleaming news, fastest growing economy, the place to be, the next this and the next that. And I can be carried away, but I'll tell you, the rational investor, and hold on to that term, the rational investors weighs every element of information that they can put their arms around. So on the one hand, we have the bright Goldilocks stories, statistical statistically gaudy. You know, who is doing 30+% GDP growth? Who? I Nobody's, very few places are close to that. You go to the other side of the coin, and there's the safety. And if an embassy puts out that, look, don't walk at night, be careful around this area or that area, and it's saying that to its nationals and its citizens. By the way, I get those things coming to my email as a matter of routine. I get them. I'm part of that network. So I know what you're talking about. And do not be around places where there are crowds and so on and so forth, and there are protest actions. So, one, physical safety is a concern, because physical safety is not just about the person, it's about my infrastructure, it's about my plant, it's about my plans and my provisions, physical provisions, to make a profit. So if those are going to be threatened by what's going on in the street, my workers fear I have to spend money for extra security, electronic and physical security, then the question in my mind that I'm thinking, how viable is this investment in